Y ahora voy a presentar el mío en el medio de la moderación. También tengo un artículo para presentar que se llama... I'm going to speak in English if you don't mind, because I'm going to be very faster. If I'm trying to think of the Spanish word, it's going to be a lot more time. So good morning, everybody, again. This is work that I did with two colleagues from Portugal, Adassa Oliveira from LIACOM and Alexandre Leandro from LabCom. The title of our study is From Information to Participation, and what we analyzed is, like Pablo and Javier, they analyzed on axis, les parlamentares, pero nosotros hemos estudiado la corrida presidencial portuguesa que ha pasado hace un mes. O dos. Entonces, this research, we look at the candidates, how they use Instagram to engage with citizens during the campaign. Oops, it's moving? Yeah. So this is the paper that it was already published. And these are the 5 main candidates. So, as you know, as we just saw, social media is now central to political communication. Platforms like Instagram, X, TikTok are not just used to share information. They are spaces of visibility, motion, and interaction all come together. So during campaigns, candidates not only communicate ideas, but also try to appear close, authentic, and engaging to voters. This is our research problem. So most of the studies focus on measuring engagement. Things like likes, comments, shares, but what we wanted to understand is something a little bit different. How is engagement actually created in an electoral campaign? So what kind of content makes people react, interact, or share in the 2026 campaign in Portugal? So these are our research questions and hypotheses, 2 main research questions. How do presidential candidates use Instagram resources to construct informative, relational, and participatory messages? And the second one, how do different types of engagement-oriented content relate to variations in audience reactions, comments, shares, and likes? This is, very fast, our theoretical framework. So we based on the study of Rebecca Dollum, this social media and engagement behavior. So for these authors, engagement is, of course, a multi-dimensional phenomenon that includes cognitive, emotional, and behavioral responses. Informative content addresses cognitive engagement, relational content fosters emotional connection, and participatory content encourages interaction and co-creation. So engagement is understood as a dynamic and relational process, not just a simple metric. So what we do for our methodology, we use the mixed methodology content analysis. We analyzed Instagram posts from the 5 principal candidates during the campaign. Each post, we looked at things like the format, the topic, the type of message, and also the engagement metrics like likes, comments, and shares. We also normalized the data to make comparisons between candidates, of course, more accurate, because there are differences in the followers, and of course, the numbers would be completely different. Main findings. So one of the clearest findings is about format. Reels were by far the most used format and also the most engaging. So short videos really stand out as the most effective type of content on Instagram in this context. The second finding show us that different content strategies produce different engagement patterns. Examples: opposition-related content generated a very high engagement for some candidates. Personal content tended to generate strong emotional responses. Informative content, on the other hand, was often more shareable. So this indicates that engagement depends on the interaction between format, theme, and content cues. The third key finding, relational versus participatory. So as to the hypothesis, the results are mixed. Relational content generated high levels of likes and comments in some cases, for example, Marcos Mendes, but not consistently across all candidates. Participatory content did not systematically produce higher engagement, so this suggests that calls to action alone are not sufficient unless they are combined with emotional or, and this is very important, controversial elements. And the extreme left and extreme right candidates, they used a lot controversial elements. So a quick campaign between all the candidates. So Ventura relied heavily on informative and participatory content, especially through reels focused on opposition themes. Seguro adopted a balanced approach, more informative and more mobilization content. Coutrinho Figueiredo emphasized informative and related content. Gouveia e Mel focused on informative reels, and Marcos Mendes prioritized participatory content, but relational posts had higher engagement. So what does this study show? It shows that engagement is not just something that happens, it is something that is strategically built. So it depends on how content is designed, how platforms work, and what candidates are trying to achieve. Concluding, there is no single strategy that guarantees engagement, and this is very important not only for brands or organizations, but also for political candidates. So instead, engagement emerges from the combination of format, thematic focus, and content cues. So Instagram is not only a space for information, but also a platform for building proximity, authenticity, and emotional connection with audiences. To finish, limitations. Of course, this study has some limitations. Also, it does not include Instagram stories, which are a very important element. So it may capture important real-time interactions that we did not analyze. And additionally, it does not analyze common sentiment. So future research could expand this analysis to other platforms like X's or TikTok or others, and explore qualitative aspects of audiences' responses. Thank you so much for your attention. These are the authors. Adassa and Alexandra Leandro are online, looking at us at this moment. Hello, Adassa and Shannon. Thank you so much.